Good day, everyone. This is Ernie Kish from the Kish Cash Fund, and we're looking at an Axle trade for tomorrow, June 22nd, 2011. It's one of the two stocks we're following right now. We're also following NVIDIA, so we'll have an NVIDIA um, presentation to follow this one here, a separate presentation. But we will either trade Axle or NVIDIA tomorrow, or we will not trade anything at all, because we're going to have a plan on Axle and a plan on NVIDIA, but we won't have plans on anything else. So um, if things don't really look like some days the markets are saying, just it might be a good idea to take the day off and go play golf or do whatever you'd like. But if we do have a trade tomorrow, then it will be either with Axle or NVIDIA. The reason why we're doing this is we want to thank freestockcharts.com for using their charts. It allows us to help plan our activity for the following day, and we're using it as a teaching tool to help folks plan their trades. We use Fibonacci retracements and pivot points. And one of the interesting things that we are looking at right away is today was a good day. Yesterday wasn't a bad day either. So we're keeping an open mind, whether to be bearish or bullish. We're really neither looking at our trade tomorrow. This 50% retracement that was drawn out a while back, Axle came in at this 61.8 retracement. Different time frames, but all of these things have ended up at the high of 16. They were all ending up at the high of 1620s. They had of Axle. They have different times when they came in at different lows, but you'll notice that when we had a different presentation of Axle at a different time, we said that this was the line to watch, the 61.8. If Axle did go above that, it may go higher with volume, and if everything else was indicating that. Markets move most of the time in unison together. So with this symphony rising, Axle rose with it, and today would have been, of course, a great day to go long. I like to have a little bit of a confirmation, so I probably would have gotten in somewhere around in here. I would have probably, there's no real reason why not to sell it here. That would have been a spot to take part of your position out, or to take it all out and then take the rest of the day off. It's going sideways right here, so there's really not a lot of reason. Some of this in through here might have taken some folks out, but had some folks stayed in for the long term, they had a profit if they got in, in this area here by the time you're up here. So if those folks did wait out the day, then of course they enjoyed this. All right, that's a couple of things that happened today, and does that help us figure out what's going on tomorrow? Well, definitely, because what we have from a high, low, and close today, we've got these pivot points. And helping us plan our trade, then immediately it can go up to these highs, but in our initial plan, let's take those out of the equation, and if we have to, we'll plug them in tomorrow while we're trading. So we're going to look at this as being the possible dead high of the day, and the 10-11 figure as being the possible dead low of the day. Our close was right in here. So, okay, uh, we've got this thing then figured out, don't we? It's going to go bing, 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 opening bell tomorrow, and we're going to just sit on our hands and not uh, enter any position quite yet. We're going to watch this thing. So let's just assume, let's just have a scenario of that it opens up at $10.84 and follow my cursor. Okay, so we're coming up from the 1084. Oh well, the spider's having a positive day. Spider's going up, and I'm gonna show you where we'll be getting into this thing here, folks. And, you know, volume looks like it's trending upwards. Volume's doing good. So okay, we've already entered the trade. Okay, I'll show you where we entered the trade already. We've entered this trade at $10.90 right here because it opened at 1084. All the other indicators were, the spider's going up. Our trend is at 1 or better. So okay, on the positive side, if the trend is at 1 or better, then that's a good thing. And if the spider's going up, well, that's a good thing. Um, so let's and our stock's going up. Okay, so we're looking at what did the overseas markets do? Let's see, Asia was up and Europe was up. Oh, okay. Well, maybe everybody thinks that this is going to be a green day then, so they're buying. Everybody's in a buying mood. So let's go along with that. So okay, we got in at the 1090. Where do we think about exiting here? Well, let's see. Why 1090? Well, 1090 was kind of like the halfway between point between the 1084 and the 1102. Okay, we're at 1102 right now. We can sell it now with a profit. That's 12 cents, and that's an eighth of a point. So that's kosher, you know. So do I want to do that or not? And again, it's like, what are the rest of the indicators doing? Is my stock going up, or is it showing sign of weakness? And if I don't know, then why don't I take my eighth of a point profit? So I probably will. If I get confused, I'll take an eighth of a point. If it's showing strong signs of weakness, I'm going to get out. I'm going to take my eighth of a point. If it's showing signs of strength, I'm going to watch it. And if it goes to 1105, then all the better, right? And it comes back to 1102, well, that's okay. Then it comes back to 1101, 1110. If I'm not out yet, I might consider doing something at that point if the other indicators are, if the spider's coming down. Okay, if this thing comes down to 1101 and the spider's still ticking on up, I'll scratch my head, but I'll give it another couple of seconds. Okay. So let's just assume that this thing, along with all the other indicators, is continuing to tick on up. Well, then the next point I'm thinking about taking my profit and selling would be $11.12. So that's how I am going to read this play on Axel tomorrow. And if you ask me, what about the short side? Well, if it got to 1121 and everything said that might be the dead high, and let's just say later in the day it comes down to 1118, then 1112, it bounces off the 1112, comes back up to 1121, and it looks, the other indicators in the stock say that this thing is showing signs of weakness at 1121. I might short it at 1121. But guess what, folks? What will my stop be? Probably 1125, 1126. If it gets up, if I lost the 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 decision, if the decision of my direction went against me by a nickel at this point, I would have to say I made a mistake. If I shorted it at 1121 and it's at 1126, I'll buy the cover. And at 11:21, if it goes up to 11:22, and I'm not going to worry about it because I have my stop, and it hasn't reached it yet. And then if I've picked the right direction and it says, yeah, 11:21, that was the dead high of the day, then where do I buy to cover then if it's going in the direction that I want? At 11:12. Okay? Unless that's what I'm going to look at. But it might pass through the 11:12. It might go to 11:07, then back up to 11:12, tweak out at 11:12, and start heading south again. Where do I take a look at buying the cover at that point? Then the 11:02. Same thing if it opens up at 1084 and starts heading south. Where do you enter? You want some confirmation, all right? This thing is heading south at 11:04, and it hit 1066. I've already shorted it halfway between the 1084 and the 1066 with a short stop in case it turns around and goes against me. So that's the money management that I've been using, and that's um, the plays that I've been playing using the pivot points and the Fibonacci's, along with a good handle on what direction is my spider, and what direction is the Nasdaq going, what direction is the Dow going, and what sometimes the Dow and the Nasdaq don't always go in flux, and so where does Axel lie? It's a Dow traded stock, so but it does follow the spider. A lot of stocks follow the spider. So I'm just saying, look at these things, give yourself a chance, and if it looks like 100%, you know, if it looks like 100% it's going in your direction, then go ahead in. If it hits your stop, get out. If not, stay in, and then look for that next point. But this is our plan. So we've got this plan down. I'm going to play it a couple more times for myself. Write down some more of what's going on, so I really have a good idea of what's going on with Axel, and this will be my play. So keep green on your screen, everybody out there. I hope this has been helpful. God bless. Good trading.